It's the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast.
Hello, this is episode 161 of the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. I'm Michael Ball. We had some slight issues again with Martin. He tried to do a sort of intro for this episode, and apparently he had a problem with his radiator, which was making some weird noises. So I've kind of done this sort of intro for him, and now we will actually start off with the chaos that ensued beginning of this episode. So here we go. Right, well, if you want to lead in whenever you're ready, we'll just go with it and we'll just wing it, because it's only going to be a straightforward one tonight, actually, an old film. So.
Hang on. It's the doctors.
Oh, okay.
Hello? Yes.
Not the
Yeah.
doctor. Not the doctor.
Could you phone me back about 6 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about 6:15, yeah. That'd be fantastic. Thank you. Bye.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have had on the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast, the Doctor, and he's early for the 60th anniversary.
Now,
Martin didn't hear a word I said then.
I did. I'm just... I don't know what's going on.
All right. Okay.
My mouse ain't working.
Oh, for crying out loud. That's not good. We just talk. All you need to do is talk.
Now it's working.
All right.
No, I've got everything plugged in.
Okay. All right. Are you ready to go? Like,
you know, before we started, right? Oh,
Yeah.
I've got a new phone coming.
oh, okay.
It should have been here this morning.
And it hasn't arrived. Well,
Yeah.
look, we can have a live kind of like unboxing if you want, if it comes along during the recording. I don't know. Some people do that. You never know.
I mean, fucking doctors now. Oh, God. So we're doing
Terminator 2.
Terminator.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't think there's any. I saw the creator.
We're going to talk about that, but no
Right.
spoilers. Okay. Whenever you're ready, let's go.
Here we go, another insane Tuesday night, right? Oh, not my radiator. Can you
What?
hear it?
Yeah, I heard something go bleep.
No, that's my radiator.
What?
That noise, it's my radiator.
Why is it making that funny noise?
Because, just hang on a second. Fucking seconds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can see your ass a bit there, mate. That's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
We can see that. Okay, right. Okay.
Right.
I was going to use that as the intro, but when you bent over, we did see a bit of your
And
rear.
let's just leave my ass out.
Yeah, all right.
Okay?
I could bleep it. I could cover it up if you want. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see how it
Put a
goes.
big X on it.
Yeah. I might do that. Is that the intro?
You can do that. I don't
All right. Okay.
I don't
Right.
care.
Let's just. I'll say.
I'm just giving you blooper after blooper. No, my radiator. No, they're doing something fucking building.
Okay.
They're putting in a new massive gas boiler,
Right.
and every couple of hours, everybody's radiators start making noises.
Oh, I love it. It's great. I love it.
It's all day long.
I love it.
Turn it a bit, you know.
I might try to even bring up the sound. I'll do something funny.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then, fucking, because when I was in Eastbourne, I fell over when I was at Brighton.
Oh, what you didn't? You fell
and,
over.
and I cracked my phone.
Oh
weekend,
no!
on my phone screen. So I
Oh.
went to look to get it fixed.
Yeah.
Might as well just buy a new phone.
Okay. Well, look. I mean,
And on it, a glass screen was £100.
but my phone screen. Look at mine. Mine's working really well at the moment. Can you see that? Look at that.
Yeah.
It's a lovely phone screen, isn't it? Can you see that lovely?
So it's all cracked at top. And
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
I went down to two of these shops and it were over £100.
Right.
So I thought, well, I've had my phone, I'll just buy a new fucking phone. So I bought a new phone. Should have been here this morning.
Oh, okay. So,
Fucking Amazon.
So this week we are, let's sort of focus a little bit on about what we're talking about this week. Obviously, lots of things have been going on Martin's end. So we've already heard about radiator problems, falling over in Brighton, and actually if I'd have known you were in Brighton, I might have been able to see you because you're not that far away from me. So we could have met up, it doesn't matter. And what else has been going on? It's been really cold. The temperature's really plummeted here.
It's freezing now.
Bloody! I got my jumper on for the first time. I put it on yesterday. It was the first time in months. But we're here.
Did you get that?
Go on.
Did you get that storm Friday night?
Storm. Yeah. It was quite stormy the other day, wasn't it?
Yeah, when I was in the hotel, it came out really bad. It was like crazy.
I think because there was one day where your weather's much better than us. So
it was 2 days except at night time.
Okay.
But I did get the sunset though. I was quite happy about that.
Well, you know me in a good sunset picture. I do like a good sunset picture. So. So what's been happening? I mean, just to say, we are reviewing Terminator 2 Judgment Day tonight, or today, which is a film, we've only ever reviewed the first one, and we're big fans of the Terminator franchise. Well, most of it we like. Next week we're going to do a review of a film that Martin's been talking about all the time. I'm going to watch it this weekend, because I'll be off next week, and I'll actually have the chance, and I'll have to look it up again, but I know it features Kurtwood Smith, so we'll do that. So what has been going on? Not a ton of news this week. What have I heard? They're ramping up the news for the new Doctor Who 60th anniversary specials. Apparently the entire Doctor Who library, they didn't say the entire library, they said 800 episodes of classic Who are going to be available on BBC iPlayer, which is quite interesting. I mean, I've already got every episode, but I think it's a great way to entice people to check out the whole franchise as they're trying to expand with Russell T Davies coming back. Apparently that was one of his conditions to come back to Doctor Who, was that the whole of the back catalogue, or most of the back catalogue of classic Doctor Who, would be available to view on iPlayer. I think another one of his conditions was a Christmas special, which apparently we're getting back again. And the other thing he said was he wants it so that every year there is a season, not this 18-month break thing, which he had quite a lot after. And that's great. I think that's all pretty positive, actually. So
it needs to be consistent.
Yeah, because it has been limping along for many years, where you keep getting these big long breaks and short seasons and just the odd special, and
people walk away from it.
That's what's happened. People haven't got the patience to stick it out. We would, because we've been watching it our entire lives. But it's for the younger generation, and don't forget that Doctor Who is a family-based series. It's for everybody. But the younger people, if they watched it when they were 13, and then another episode isn't out until they're 16. They probably would have forgotten about it. They'll be looking at TikTok. They'll be, doing whatever. So that's what's going on there. So, like I said, I've got a lot of. I'm really not sure what's going to be going on next year with season 14. I think it's going to be a very tick box series, as I've said many times before. But I'll try it. It doesn't look good from my perspective, but the David Tennant ones do. So at least whatever we've got coming up, David Tennant, you can't go wrong with him. He's a great actor, and he was a great Doctor, so that'd be fine. What else has been going on? More people are reviewing the Ahsoka series. Some people really liked it, some people don't. Obviously, we had Malcolm last week giving his perspectives, and Star Wars Theory, who we follow, he liked the series, but he said it lost it a bit in the last few episodes, which I think we kind of agree with, even though we still highly rate it. And you saw Foundation, didn't you, Martin?
Yes, I did. I did. It was superb.
So I'm going to...
Absolutely superb.
I will review that. I will review it.
You get to see the mule.
You get to see... Oh, okay.
Yeah, only for a few seconds. I could not believe they did that. And that means season 3 is just going to be... Absolutely.
But you've read the books originally, haven't you?
The what?
The actual original books of Foundation.
Yeah, well, I bought. Don't know if I should be doing this, but I bought a bootleg copy of season 2. off eBay. Off eBay, yeah. Off eBay.
So let me just say for my colleague there that this is simply anybody who's culpable for this. It is the person that sold it to Martin in the first place. Okay, so
it went on eBay. There were loads of them.
was it? It's quite well.
Yeah, it's all Blu-ray quality. It's very nice.
Well, you know, if you look out there, you can find. Let's put it that way. So I'm glad you found it, and it looks like it worked out well. So you're happy with it? You're pleased you saw it?
Yeah, I am. I'm superb. I've watched it twice. It was that good. Yeah.
All right, I'll watch it.
It gets better. The first episode, I didn't have a clue what was going on. And then by second, it sort of like all caught up, and then I started remembering, and then it made sense.
I've seen up to episode 5, and I stopped. So I will watch. I'll probably rewatch episode 5 again, and then watch the second half.
Yeah, it gets.
But it gets better later on.
3 episodes.
Okay.
I don't want to give you any.
No, give us. Okay, all right. I'll check it out. And apart from that, there's not a lot of gossip going on. There's not a lot of news. Apparently, the talks of the actors' strike in America has broken down again. Yeah, apparently they had talks last week and it fell through again, which is really getting on my nerves now because we are going to now approach this big lull with nothing to watch soon. And so, like I said, don't get me wrong, we've got a lot of films and TV shows to review, and at some point I'm going to go and watch 12 Monkeys I want to check out, and the new TV series, or newish, Return Metalis, and I've got to rewatch Blake 7 at some point. So, but that's quite a lot of episodes, isn't it?
I've seen first 2 episodes of Loki.
Oh, what was that like?
Nothing special.
No, because I knew you'd be checking it out. I did see the first season. I thought the first season was all right. I didn't dislike it.
It's just with 2 episodes, it's been all right. You know,
it's been all right.
Yeah, he's just trudging along, and that's it really.
How many episodes are there in season 2?
I think 2 so far.
Out of
6.
how many? Out of 6. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Apart from
it's
that,
weird because when I go to watch it, suddenly was blocked. And,
the thing is...
and obviously it just appeared magically, but I've watched it.
Well, I've always thought of you as a bit of the Paul Daniels of televisual acquisition,
the superpower of magic in television programs.
Every week something seems to magically appear where you live, and it's like you just need Debbie McGee to sit on your lap or something when you're watching it, and then you'll be alright.
Please don't.
I don't know where that.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that stupid fucking kids program again?
Oh, Whizbit, wasn't it? Whizbit.
Oh, fucking. Do you remember that?
No. Guess what? Right, it probably won't play on here, but I've got Whizbit as one of my iPhone ringtones. I promise you, if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it. Ringtone. I think it's called Whizbit, isn't it? But see if you can hear it, because sometimes it doesn't work, does it? Or maybe it's not. Oh, I thought I had it. I'm sure I had it on there at some point. But yes, I do remember that show. It was absolutely bloody awful. And I mean, did you think Paul Daniels was a bit overrated as an entertainer, or? Oh, here we are. I found it.
I never really bothered about him, really.
I'll try and play it, but it probably won't play through Zoom. But if you can't hear it, I'll stop it. Here we go.
Hey, let me tell you about Will.
Can you hear anything?
He comes from the planet of WoW.
No.
Once he was
Little bit. Well, I've got it on my phone, but it won't play for this thing.
Oh, the Wombles are coming back.
Are they?
Yeah, they're remaking them, yeah.
Sorry.
Have you heard about this new series that's come out called Robin Hood?
Oh, another Robin Hood.
Yeah, it's set in modern day. Set in the modern day, and it's like greedy corporate. Well, I better not discuss it.
Well, if he's Robin Hood, is he still rich?
I'll tell you after this. I'm not. I mean, they're all freaking out about it.
So he's not living.
Apparently, it's the worst series ever made.
So he's not a contemporary Robin Hood who lives in Richmond Park and steals from rich people's BMWs and gives it to the poor people in Putney or something.
Well, they do basically, yeah. They're all attacking it. I mean, I've
never heard of it.
It.
We keep saying this, but that War of the Worlds thing we reviewed several weeks back, I still don't know how I heard about that, and nobody apart from us two has ever even heard of it.
Other review. There's one other
That's right.
review.
You said. You had told me that.
Yeah. That's it.
That's really strange, that one, isn't it? Okay. Yeah. Right, but I don't think there's anything else news-wise.
Have we done an introduction?
I'm going to, when I've done this, I'll do a quick intro and mix it with because it did start with you being funny, so I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'll mix it in.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Okay.
Stick a big X on my ass.
Yeah, I'll put a big X, or I'll put a expletive or censored or something. I'll put a censored sticker on it, it'll be fun. So, yeah, alright, so should we go to our focus of the week? Because I've got nothing else to talk about, really.
Yeah, let's go to focus of the week.
Okay, here we go.
It's the
Solar Sci-Fi
focus of the week.
Alright, so this is a film from 1991. It's a very, very famous film. It's a film that we probably should have reviewed about 50 episodes ago. I don't know why we didn't. It's definitely in my top 10 films ever. And that is, of course, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, which, of course, was the sequel to the original Terminator from 1984, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and all the other people who I can't think of. Who plays Sarah? Linda Hamilton. Linda Hamilton as well, and all the rest of them. So let's ask you your perspective first of all, Martin, because you must have seen this loads of times. How did you encounter Terminator 2: Judgment Day?
Superb. One of the best sequels ever made after Aliens.
Aliens, okay.
Aliens and Terminator 2, the best sequels ever made to any movie.
I mean, do you remember how big it was when it came out? Because it was huge. I went to see it in Leicester Square with a friend in 1991, and he'd seen the original Terminator, but he was all right. He didn't dislike Terminator, but he wasn't like a huge fan that I was of the original one. And then this incredible film just started with like the World War, nuclear explosions, all the stuff that went on, and we were both blown away by it because it was really, apart from The Abyss, it was the first film I remember which actually featured CGI in like a live action film. And this incredible idea of the Terminator from the first now being a good Terminator, and this CGI updated high-tech version with knives and stabbing weapons and changing shape and everything was such a clever twist on the original. And yeah, I did think it was a very, very good film. But I mean, do you think it's aged well? I mean, it's quite an old film now. I mean, do you think it's still good in 2023 as it was?
It still holds, yeah, definitely.
You think it still holds?
Yeah.
Because I think for me, the Terminator franchise has been a strange one because most people say that the first two films were the best. And then after that, it did lose it a bit. And I do agree with that. The first two are definitely the best of the Terminator franchise. I think most people could agree with that. But, I mean, again, it's one of those factors that if you get all these sequels, it can damage the quality of the first two. I mean, do you think, let's just ask first of all, do you think they should have just stopped after Terminator 2? That was the end?
I think they shouldn't have done Terminator 3. They shouldn't have done that.
So why was that so different from the second one? What is it that lost it?
It was just Terminator 3. It was just a copy of Terminator 2.
It was just a generic kind of remake, is what you're saying.
It was like, we can make a lot of money out of this, and they did. And I went to see that, and I was so disappointed with it. Number 2 is a masterpiece. All of it, it fits perfectly together. You can't. There's no faults in the film. Even Robert Patrick
was great
as the polymorph Terminator is amazing. I love the scene with the hand like that, when he does that. Yeah, it was so creepy, and
It was creepy.
and it was great. I think what should have been the sequel to that was Terminator Salvation.
Do you know what? I totally agree with that because I really liked Terminator Salvation. It was a great continuation.
I loved it.
I can't wait to review that in the future with you as well. I thought it was a brilliant film. I actually like the recent one as well. The ones which are the weakest is 3 and 5.
Yeah, the recent one. Was it Dark
Fate?
Dark Fate.
I quite
That
like
would have
that.
been all right as a standalone film.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with that at all. I thought it was pretty
I
good.
enjoyed it. I mean, I know it flopped, but when I did watch it, I did sort of quite like it. I'm quite interested in
I thought it was fine. I've got no problem with that at
the
all.
parallel sort of universe thing. But the one before
Genesis.
that was,
With different actors playing Sarah Connor, that's not going to work, is it?
and then Skynet takes over John Connor's body and travels back in
Yeah,
time.
it was just a mess. It wasn't.
Because you see, with Salvation and Genesis, they were hoping to reboot the franchise with them 2 movies. Hang on.
Well, that's right. Both. Oh, there we go. Sorry, this is the Radiator again. It does sound like a Dalek on steroids, by the way. Is it time for another? Martin adjusted his T-shirt this time round, so he don't have to have a censored sign. There we go. This is great. Well done, Martin. All right, you're all sorted. Exterminate, X-radiate. Sorry, we got thrown there, didn't we? So yeah, it's funny that both Dark Fate and Genesis were the proposed first of 2 new trilogies, and they both failed.
Yeah, because with Genesis, what they were going to do was the planned storyline for Genesis that Skynet travels multiple timelines and realizes in all the timelines Skynet loses.
It fails.
And so it becomes like a quantum Skynet, and it's trying to take over other Skynet. So John Connor's to change.
It's an interesting
Yeah,
idea.
there was something there, but it moves through, it crosses over to different timelines, and that's what they were like a super Skynet. But in every reality, it loses, and it's trying to create a timeline where it wins.
To make why they win, yeah.
And I sort of thought that was sort of interesting because Matt Smith were going to be the.
I know Matt Smith was in it, wasn't he? He was like
he was going to be the quantum Skynet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so.
But it's sunk.
I mean, one thing about going back to Terminator 2 was that I have got the extended version, which has a different ending.
Yeah, well, that's not
what do you think about what do you think about the alternate cut version of Terminator?
I thought if you were going to finish it on that, I think that was a great way to finish it.
Yeah, because it's interesting. Because in some ways, a lot of people, like I said, I like Salvation and Dark Fate, but a lot of people who just really turned off after Terminator 3, they could just say, well, look, let's watch the first one and the second one with the happy ending, the extended one, and that's it. That's my Terminator.
That's
films.
what you could have done, yeah.
I
mean, you could have. I mean, you see how I'd have done Terminator. I'd have done it. I think like you get the first film and the second, the third one would have. I'd have created a time loop where the third one is the war when they attack Skynet in the future, destroy it,
and then create full circle.
Yeah. And as it finishes at the end, they send Kyle Reese through time.
Yeah, the thing is, though, if they could have done it later, like with like deep fake or something, they could have actually done that. They could have been really good. I'd love to have seen that. That would.
Well, that's how it should have played out. I think for me, Terminator 3 killed the franchise.
Yeah, I think it was corny having a female Terminator. Hey, I like your car. And it's
Once you made when she made the chest bigger.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
remember that.
Yeah, and that was just like that's like something out of an airplane movie. It's just
Yeah, no, it was.
it was wonky. It didn't fit the actual, you know.
No,
It reminds me a bit of the I know it's a different franchise, but Star Wars: The Last Jedi. No, yeah, The Last Jedi. There's a scene on the Imperial Star Destroyer with Adrian Edmondson and I can't remember the character's name, where he's pretending he can't hear him, like it's like a bad phone call, and he was sort of like, and it made it almost like a mockery of the Star Wars franchise. It didn't work at all. And this happened with the Terminator thing, with some of the things in number 3. It just Terminator. My personal favourite Terminator film, and I am in the minority, is Terminator 1. I like it because it was very, very dark. It was more of a horror and less of a sci-fi. And as you know, I like both franchises. But for me, the two movies, although they really fit in well perfectly, I love both of them. But I just like the original premise of a woman with this not android, but a cyborg coming together wherever she goes, and it will not stop. And the way it was done, how dark it was, the music, the atmosphere, the way it goes, the pacing. Terminator 2 is brilliant. It really is, and it does carry it on. But it has a slightly different, less of a sci-fi horror. It's slightly more of an entertainment kind of. It has a very slightly different premise. But I still rate Terminator 2 as I would agree with. A lot of people say to me that they prefer the second one to the first one, and I can completely understand that. Absolutely.
No, I like them both because I'm going to give this Terminator 2 though, because the first one is pretty brutal. I mean, how he goes around killing people.
That's right.
So knocking on the door, pulling that gun out, just coldly killing. He's killing everybody to get to her.
Yeah, it was
and then in number 2, which it should have been like that, but they managed to sort of tone that down.
Well, they
have a lot in it.
They
open it up
diluted it
to a
a bit.
family audience.
Yeah, they diluted
it
a bit. I mean, there were scenes where they went across the border, and the Terminator for a while couldn't find them, and they had these little sub-stories about her kind of thinking more about her past and thinking about the new Terminator as almost like a father figure. In the first one, he never got that. In the first one, it was just we've got to survive, we've got to hide, we've got to find a way of stopping it. That's possibly why I prefer the first one. None of the, I mean, like I said, all the other movies were different, but I just really the Terminator 1 is a real favourite of mine. But Terminator 2 is really good as well, but it's slightly different.
I think Terminator 1 shows that it's a killing machine. It's been sent back with a purpose.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's killing everybody. When we got to Terminator Genesis and the timeline got changed again, it's like by this time they sent up like 50 Terminators back to kill her.
It got a bit tired.
Yeah.
But it was just the same thing. It was just like, and we're going to send another Terminator. And we're going to send another Terminator. It was supposed
because there was that underwater Terminator killed her parents, wasn't they, in that river?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, another alternate timeline.
Yeah,
and
it's what I mean.
Yeah,
I mean, Skynet's
like multiverse.
It's like Skynet's this AI, and it cancels itself out of existence. I mean, it's meant to be this machine that's so superior, this AI thing, and then it all it does is send stuff back all the time, and it fails.
But even
do you know what I mean?
Even in Terminator 2, they did retcon one thing, because in number 1, Carl Reese says, no one else is going to come through. It's just me and him. So they kind of said in the beginning of Terminator 2, they actually sent 2 Terminators back in time. Whereas Carl Reese, he was told, I suppose it could have happened without his knowledge.
Well, maybe, I don't know, but maybe the timeline kept changing. I mean, the TV series, the TV series is connected to all this. It's all set in another timeline.
I like the TV series.
I mean, and I was a big fan of TV series.
I am a big fan of TV series, yeah.
I do one episode where Skynet sent a Terminator back in 1934. They found it in a wall.
the guy that plays the Terminator in the TV series, in the one that sort of, I think he fixes his face up or something, and he sort of becomes back. He is now. I'm watching him in Fear the Walking Dead, and he's great in that. And I've only seen this actor in 2 shows, but he's a great actor. He was great as a Terminator in the TV series. So I suppose really, I don't know what else we could say about it. I mean, obviously it was a James Cameron film.
He put him on the map, Terminator 2, though.
Well, Terminator 1
made him global.
Terminator 1 put him up there, but this then put him on a whole new level
after.
This
just exploded, didn't it?
Well, actually, no, because this was made after he did Aliens, and Aliens was made in 87. So he did Terminator 1 in 84, and that really was a big kind of showing how good he was. Then he did Aliens, again another sequel to a very, very famous sort of horror sci-fi in 87, and look how highly regarded that is. And then he made it several years or a few years later in 1991, where and after the success of this, that's when he got into things like Terminator and all the other stuff. And of course now he's regarded as one of the highest rated producers, directors in contemporary classic science fiction films, I think. So yeah, I don't know what else we could say about it. I mean, did you like Edward Furlong as Carl?
Yeah, I liked it all. I liked it all. I'm a big fan, but I think Terminator 3 really damaged the franchise. I really do. They'd have been better off finishing the whole thing as a loop, and then probably create a timeline outside of the loop. At least they can get away with that. Every version of Terminator is all set in a different timeline, broken off from the original. But then I did like the concept of the quantum Skynet that would jump in timelines. I sort of did like that. You know, it was trying to alter some reality. That were interesting. But
I still think it's a shame that after the first 2 films, it kind of fizzled out, the Terminator films, with all the stuff, the directions it went. You know, in some ways it would have been better like the Back to the Future trilogy, where they just made the 3 films. It's never been remade,
and just left
and that's it.
Classic series.
Rather than series after series, alternate timeline. This character came through his dad. And it's kind of like, you know. And people keep saying, you know, after the most recent films of Genesis and Dark Fate, everyone's saying, look, we're done with Terminator. There's only so much you can say about a person being chased by a cyborg, and it's been done.
Yeah.
You know, and I can kind of understand that.
I mean, the thing is with it. I mean, the other thing where it let itself down. But I think it was in Genesis or a TV series. They were suddenly travelling 20 years into the future.
Yeah, they jumped ahead, didn't they?
They built a time machine, and then they all stood
it was in a bank or something, and they managed.
Yeah, and it was just they were like, "Oh, come on."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That was stupid. That was
yeah.
I can see
Yeah.
Let me just quickly read some info about it before we finish off, because I think we'll make it a short one, because I think we've pretty much covered it. It says the Terminator was considered as a significant success, enhancing Schwarzenegger's and Cameron's careers, but work on the sequel stalled because of an animosity between the pair and Hemdale Film Corporation, which partly owned the film's rights. In 1990, Schwarzenegger and Cameron persuaded Carolco, which is to pursue the rights to the Terminator producer Gal and Hemdale, which was financially struggling. Oh, sorry, actually, this is referring to the first one, between 1 and 2. Sorry, it just goes on about that. Terminator 2 earned 519 to 520 million, making it the highest grossing film in 1991 worldwide, and the 3rd highest grossing film of its time. Critics praised the visual effects, action sequences, and cast, especially Patrick's performance as the T-1000. Great cinematic villain. Alright, so we nearly finished off, so let's just get a rating.
The Terminator story was taken from Outer Limits episode.
Oh, what's that? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you remember the one with Michael Ansara?
Kang, yeah.
Yeah, he's the soldier that comes from the future.
Oh,
you remember that?
I do remember that episode.
And it's all some politician that causes the war in the past.
Oh.
And it's going to kill him. Well, that's where
I might watch that tonight now. I might check that one out tonight.
Terminator's based on that. That's where the story comes from.
Never knew that. That's interesting.
totally salted, but he got transported accidentally back in the Outer Limits, and he realised he's in the time of that politician. And does I forgot if he kills him, I don't know, but he can't go back. But he's got all his weaponry. He tells these people. So I think I forgot. I'm gonna have to watch this again. Actually.
I will watch it. I might watch it tonight. Actually,
They took the story from that.
Okay. Brilliant. So to finish off, then, what would you rate it out of 10?
Terminator 2. I'm gonna give it a 10.
I'll give Terminator 1 9.5. I'll give Terminator 2 9.
Right. Yep. Fair enough.
So pretty similar. It's way up there. It's way up there. It's a brilliant film.
I'll give Terminator 1 9. Terminator 3 2. Genesis, I'll give 7. Not Genesis, Salvation. Genesis a 2. And well, I've got to admit, I did like the last one.
I will give Terminator 3 6.5. I'll give Terminator Salvation, I'll give 8, I think.
That's generous.
I'll give Genesis 6.5, same as the other one. And I'll give Dark Fate 8.
Yeah, I enjoyed Dark Fate. I did. When I watched it at home, I'd seen it at cinema, a bit annoyed with it, but when I got round to watching it at home, I didn't mind it. I really didn't mind it, so, you know.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't think it's worth resuming the Zoomer thing because we pretty much covered, aren't we? So we'll finish off. Yeah, we've been on 45 minutes, 40 minutes. So, Martin, thank you very much. We will review a film that you mentioned to me many times between now and obviously I'll look at it and watch it between now and next week. And then, yeah, it should be good. So, thank you, Martin. Great chat as usual. And we'll catch you next week on the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. Thanks, Martin.
I'm going to prosper.
Yes, thank you.
I used to kill people, outrageous amounts. I'd murder them all just like that. Maiming and injuring those shouldn't count, but now I'm obeying this brat. How'd I end up on the wrong side of the war? Things made much more sense in 1984. Yes, this idiot believes that I'm his friend, but I'd give anything to kill someone again. It used to be simple, they'd give me a name. I would check in the phone book and come to the door, pull out my gun and I blow out the brains, and I shoot 5 more times to be perfectly sure. I was much more efficient the first time around. You got in my way, that was it, you were dead. I punch through your stomach or come back and drive through your desk, but now I just hurt you instead. Why can I no longer kill them? It seems so unfair. What does it mean to be human? I do not care. Taking orders from a boy who's only 10. But I'd give anything to kill someone again. I'm stuck with this woman protecting her son. Kinder and gentler, I gave them my vow. The damn T-1000 has all of the fun. Now when I shoot, they don't die, they say ow. Just when you think things can't get any worse, I can no longer curse, I can't say fuck you asshole. So stupid to try and suppress my desire to kill like I did in my last role. What is the point of a killing machine who can feel? Go ahead, Connor, and lower me into the steel. Yes, this idiot believes that I'm his friend, but how I miss that special thrill. Won't be me again until I give anything